Wait, are you seriously ignoring this shift happening right now? Can you feel it moving beneath your skin? Can you feel the universe bending in your favor? Wait, don't freak out. Don't move. Just breathe. Just sit. Just rest. Because what I'm about to reveal will change how you see everything. Yeah, I'm talking to you. The one hustling, grinding, stressing every second of the day. You think you need to act. You think you need to push. But guess what? The real power is in doing nothing. This shift, it's already working for you. While others panic, while others chase, while others try to force life to bend, you are about to discover how sitting back, resting and letting the currents work will make everything fall into place. Can you imagine that? Can you feel the calm strength rising inside you? Yeah, that's real energy. That's the game changer. And yes, I know, you've been doubting yourself, you've been pushing too hard, you've been exhausted. But today we honor you. We honor your patience, your struggle, your silent strength. You deserve this moment. Some things move faster when you stop moving at all. You feel it, don't you? That itch, that restless pull to do something, anything, just to prove you're alive. Society screams at you, tells you that motion equals meaning, that productivity equals power, that action defines existence. But let me whisper a brutal truth into the void of your busy mind. Sometimes the shift you're waiting for doesn't need your hands, your plans, or your panic. Sometimes everything is happening without you lifting a finger. And the cruel irony? You are exactly where you need to be. Just resting, just breathing, just letting the silence do the work. Look around you. Look at the faces sprinting past. They clutch at opportunity like it's a lifeline, yet stumble in chaos because they refuse to pause. They miss the invisible threads tying events together, the quiet momentum building beneath their clamor. You see, the world doesn't reward the frantic. It rewards the calm, the observant, the ones who know when to bow out and let the machinery of life grind forward without interference. The strongest moves, the deepest shifts, the things that transform your life, they rarely arrive when you're shaking your fists at time. They arrive when you step back, when you stop resisting, when you let the invisible currents carry you. Imagine a river carving a canyon. It doesn't rush recklessly. It doesn't demand recognition. It flows patiently, quietly, and eventually, relentlessly, it reshapes mountains. That is the shift you are in. You are the riverbed waiting for the water to find its way. Your rest is not weakness. It is strategy. It is power. It is the unacknowledged skill of the patient mind. Every twitch of anxiety, every moment you try to force the shift, is like splashing against the current, slowing yourself down. Stop. Let the flow claim you. Let it whisper its secrets, and let the world unfold in your favor without your interference. You've been taught that to wait is to fail, to pause is to surrender. But they were lying. Waiting is the quiet rebellion of the wise. Pausing is the theater of inner strength. Resting is the art of watching the invisible strings move, while the frantic struggle with their own desperation. You, my friend, are the silent observer who sees it all. You are the calm shadow in a chaotic room, the eye in a storm of ambition, the one who knows the truth that power is not always in the fist, but in the stillness of the hand. And yet, here is the catch. To rest properly, you must surrender your obsession with control. Stop trying to predict every outcome. Stop bending every situation to your will. Stop performing for eyes that will never see. The shift, the momentum, the change, it is happening now without your effort, without your interference. Imagine standing on the edge of a cliff, the wind roaring, the world trembling below. If you jump recklessly, you break bones. If you hesitate, you falter. But if you step back, breathe, and let gravity work its quiet, relentless magic, you will arrive exactly where you need to be, alive, untouched, prepared. That is the power of doing nothing. That is the intelligence of rest. You think strength is measured in movement, in action, in loud declarations of power, but the truth is far more unsettling. True strength hides in the quiet corners of your mind, in the spaces where no one is watching, in the moments when you choose to resist the urge to act, to speak, to intervene. It is in those pauses that your discipline is forged, your patience tested, your character sharpened like a blade glinting under dim light. The world will try to convince you that motion is progress, that noise equals attention, that visible struggle equals achievement. But all of that is an illusion, a cheap distraction meant to keep you exhausted, frantic, small. Observe the mind of a restless person. They twitch at every impulse. They clutch at every opportunity like a drowning man. They are slaves to their emotions, prisoners of their desires. They measure life in what they do, rather than what they allow to happen. And yet, here you are, standing outside the frenzy, watching, noticing, understanding. You feel the tension in your chest, the urge to act, the whisper that screams, do something. But resisting that whisper, staying still, letting the moment breathe, is your act of defiance, your silent mastery. You are learning that patience is not waiting. Patience is power disguised as stillness. Think of a seed, buried deep in soil. It does nothing visible. It feels nothing. It struggles not, yet inside it, the work is happening. Roots stretch, strength builds, life gathers momentum, preparing for the day it breaks the surface. That seed is you, and this moment of rest is your underground growth. No one sees it, no one applauds it, no one understands it, and that's exactly how it should be. Growth is rarely loud, rarely immediate, rarely understood. But when it emerges, when the time is right, it will astonish those who were too busy to notice. There is elegance in restraint. There is ferocity in calm. There is wisdom in letting things unfold without interference. Your mind, your body, your emotions, your entire being, they need this pause. You've been running in circles, fighting ghosts, wrestling shadows, exhausting yourself for outcomes that may not even belong to you. Now, let the shift work. Let the invisible forces weave your story. Let the currents of life pull you, guide you, carry you where your effort cannot. Do not fight the tide. Do not rush the process. Sit still, breathe deeply, and watch the puzzle assemble itself in ways your hands could never manage. And yes, it is uncomfortable. Yes, it feels like inaction, like surrender. But that discomfort is the sign of transformation. That tension in your chest, the itch to intervene, the restlessness in your bones, that is life rearranging itself around your patience. You are not missing out. You are not falling behind. You are learning the art of timing, the subtle power of presence, the intelligence of letting go, Imagine a chessboard. The pieces move, the board changes, the outcome shifts with each invisible hand. But the player who moves recklessly loses the game. The one who waits, who observes, who anticipates silently, wins. And here is the delicious, almost cruel truth. While the world pushes, struggles, and collapses under its own frantic weight, you, doing nothing, are moving faster than anyone can imagine. You are advancing while they exhaust themselves. You are building while they destroy. You are winning while they are blind. And the best part? They will never know it, because your power is quiet, invisible, subtle, yet absolute. The world wants you to panic, to fill every second with movement, with sound, with proof that you exist. But what if I told you that the greatest proof of existence is silence, the act of holding still, the courage to do nothing while the storm rages around you? Think about it. Every frantic hand, every desperate shout, every pointless effort is a sign of weakness disguised as action. And here you are, learning that the absence of motion can carry more weight than the heaviest blow, that the quiet mind can see farther than the eyes that never rest. There is a peculiar power in understanding your own limits. Most people never realize that they are exhausted, stretched thin, chasing shadows that are not theirs. They fight battles that belong to others, bend their lives to the expectations of strangers, and call it ambition. You, on the other hand, are learning the subtle art of self-respect. You are learning to recognize that your energy is precious, that your attention is currency, and that not every struggle requires your presence. There is freedom in this, almost a kind of brutal liberation. You stop performing, you stop bending, you stop proving, and in that stillness, you gain the clarity that everyone else sacrifices for noise. Think of a sculptor at work. They do not hammer endlessly, striking blindly at the stone. They pause, they observe, they step back, they study the angles, the curves, the shadows. The masterpiece emerges not through constant assault, but through deliberate restraint, through careful observation, through the intelligence of knowing when to touch and when to let the material speak. That is what your rest does. It shapes you silently, invisibly, into someone no one else can imagine. The world may call it inaction, but you know better. The transformation is happening under the surface, in the unseen, in the unnoticed spaces where true strength is forged. And here's another truth that will unsettle you. Control is not about dominating others. Control is about mastering yourself. The frantic are slaves to their impulses, their emotions, their fear of being left behind. They bend to every circumstance. They react without thinking. They exhaust themselves, trying to shape the world that does not belong to them. You, however, are learning the exquisite cruelty and the subtle elegance of self-mastery. You know when to act. You know when to speak. You know when to move. But more importantly, you know when to do nothing. When to let the invisible forces of timing, momentum, and consequence work for you without interference. Imagine standing in a room full of people screaming for attention. They fight, they claw, they push, and yet nothing changes. And there you are, still, quiet, observing, smiling softly at the chaos. While they destroy themselves in desperation, you gather strength, patience, and understanding. That is power. The kind that cannot be seen, cannot be measured, cannot be taken, and it is earned not through noise, not through struggle, not through reckless motion, but through discipline, through restraint, through the intelligence of knowing that the shift is already happening, and that your only task is to remain ready, calm, and unbroken. So here is the challenge for your mind, the one that will make or break you. Are you willing to embrace your own stillness, to honor your own patience, to resist the temptation to prove yourself, to fight, to struggle, to act before the moment is ripe? Can you hold yourself in silence while the world loses its mind around you, while opportunity builds invisibly, silently, invisibly moving in your favor? Humans are desperate creatures. They chase, they grasp, they bend under the weight of imagined urgency. But urgency is a trick, a shadow meant to keep you restless, scrambling, exhausting yourself for outcomes that may not even belong to you. Look closely at the frantic ones. They do not see clearly. They react to noise, to expectation, to fear. And yet here you are, learning the exquisite art of watching, of observing, of letting the invisible threads weave their tapestry while you simply exist. You are learning that patience is not a void. It is the forge where your resilience, your clarity, your power are shaped. Emotional control is the weapon most people fail to recognize. They are slaves to joy, to anger, to disappointment, to desire. Every twitch of the mind, every impulse, every reaction steals their power. You, however, are learning to stand outside the storm. You feel the winds of change. You notice the tremors of consequence. But you do not act blindly. You do not throw yourself at events like a moth to flame. You understand that to respond with calm precision, with deliberate timing, is more potent than 1,000 frenzied actions. The world cannot shake the one who has learned to master their own internal tide. Imagine a night sky filled with stars. Every point of light burns quietly, without effort, without struggle, and yet their influence stretches across the void. They guide. They illuminate. They exist in silent authority. That is you when you choose stillness. That is you when you resist the temptation to act prematurely. The shift you are in does not need your panic. It does not need your interference. It thrives in the quiet of your patience, in the subtle strength of your restraint, in the intelligence of letting the invisible mechanisms of life arrange themselves while you remain unshaken. There is humility in this process. Not the kind forced by shame or failure, but the humility of understanding your place within the larger currents of cause and effect. You are not omnipotent. You are not required to move mountains alone. You are not tasked with carrying the chaos of the world on your back. True humility is the recognition that some things will unfold without your insistence, that the gears are turning, the pieces are moving, and the results are being prepared, silently, invisibly, perfectly. And your role is to rest, to breathe, to trust the subtle art of timing that you cannot yet see. The contrast between you and the frantic is stark. They exhaust themselves, fighting, pushing, clawing for every shred of recognition, every moment of fleeting progress, every small victory that disappears the moment it is claimed. You, in your quiet strength, are gathering momentum, building unseen foundations, preparing yourself for the moment when the shift manifests. While they collapse under their own desperation, you remain unbroken, untouched, observing, learning, growing, ready. And the irony is delicious. The more they struggle, the further ahead you move without moving at all. So here's the question that should echo in your mind, slow and deliberate. Can you embrace the patience required to let the shift do the work while you rest? Can you resist the urge to prove, to act, to force outcomes before the moment is ripe. Can you understand that the quietest hand, the calmest mind, the one who does nothing at all, often holds the most power? Because when you finally allow it, when you finally surrender your need to push and strain, when you rest in the intelligence of the moment, the shift will surprise you, overwhelm you, and elevate you in ways that frantic effort could never achieve. The world is loud. It shouts, it demands, it twists your mind into knots. But here's the quiet horror for those who rush, who panic, who force themselves into motion. While they exhaust themselves, the shift is already happening. You do not need to push. Do not need to scramble. Do not need to chase. Every frantic movement they make only delays what is coming. Meanwhile, you, the patient observer, the one who knows the subtle rhythm of change, are gathering unseen power. You are accumulating strength silently, invisibly, like a shadow stretching across the city at twilight, unnoticed but inevitable. There is beauty in watching things arrange themselves, in letting events align without interference. People think they must control, must dominate, must intervene. But real mastery is in restraint. True power is in being ready without trying to force the world to bend to your will. You are learning that every moment spent fighting what is already moving in your favor is wasted energy. Instead, you rest, you breathe, you observe, you let the invisible cogs turn, the silent machinery of consequence move, and you allow yourself to rise at precisely the right moment, fully prepared, fully aware, fully untouchable in your calm. Imagine a predator in the jungle. It does not run blindly. It does not throw itself at prey. It waits, watches, calculates. Every muscle is relaxed, every sense alert, every moment precise. And when the moment comes, when the opportunity presents itself, it strikes with lethal precision, effortless, devastating, absolute. That predator is you. The world believes movement equals victory, noise equals power, struggle equals control. But the truth is far more elegant, far more terrifying. The quiet, the patient, the one who waits and observes, is the one who always wins. You've been trained to fear stillness, to panic at empty hours, to believe that inaction is weakness. But in those quiet moments, your mind sharpens, your clarity grows, your emotional control strengthens, your confidence solidifies. While others scatter, you strategize unconsciously. Your intuition expanding, your presence solidifying, your readiness becoming absolute. The shift is doing the work. The currents you cannot see are arranging your life, your opportunities, your victories. And all you had to do was step back, breathe, and allow it. Think of it like a storm over the city. The chaos rages. Lightning strikes, winds howl, people panic. But you stand on the rooftop, calm, steady, untouched by the frenzy. And as the storm passes, it leaves the world altered, transformed, rearranged. Streets washed, air clear, opportunities revealed. That is the reward of patience. That is the payoff of restraint. That is the strength that comes from doing nothing, yet achieving everything. And yes, it will feel strange at first. It will feel like passivity, like missed opportunity. But that feeling is the trap for the impatient. The uncomfortable restlessness is proof that you are stepping outside the ordinary, that you are learning to trust the invisible, the unseen, the inevitable shift. While everyone else fights, struggles, and exhausts themselves, you are building momentum, that cannot be disturbed, cannot be measured, cannot be replicated. You are becoming a force, not through action, but through preparation, observation, and perfect timing. Remember, don't rush, don't fight, just rest. Let the shift work. Watch everything fall into place. You are stronger than you think. Comment below, share your story, and stay ready. The shift is already moving for you.